Hey guys, this is Nüwa, and today I will just try to show you guys how I make my kick drums. So I will be using Logic Pro for that, which is what most people use. I'm not gonna start ranting and all about like Logic and shit, but most people know that if you want to make like modern, professional, euphoric hardstyle kick, like the crunchy tail pitched kicks, most people use Logic, and well, it's because it's just that sound. It's just that sound, sorry. But if you do it like raw style or whatever, you can use whatever the fuck you want. And if you just want to be original, you can use what the fuck you want. But if you want to sound like everybody else, that's what you should use too, because that's what it's about. Um, so yeah, well, let's get started. I guess I'll try to talk about like stuff that people don't usually talk about because I, just like you, if you're checking that video, I once was someone who didn't know anything about kicks or whatever. So yeah, I just checked on internet and whatever, and most tutorials are on Windows, which is kind of weird. So I'm gonna try to be the first tutorial on Logic. Actually, no, Headhunter is the tutorial on Logic, but I'll try to go like really deep in detail about like the kind of stuff that you usually don't talk about. I'm gonna try to avoid just saying, "Oh, EQ this store, EQ this store." Everybody knows that by now. But there are like some little things that people don't always talk about that I'll try to go in detail. So of course, usually you start with whatever you want. I also use drums on, but use whatever 909 you want as long as it has a long enough tail. So you see here the decay is just like slightly up there. Seems like I modified the attack a bit. Okay, I don't know why. It just depends. Sometimes you just tweak shit when you're in your effects chain. And see pitch, I put it down to. I don't really want to click it because it's really hard to move. Okay, it was a 440. Okay, 440. So 440 is not hertz. It's just like a stupid value, but you can check it out like this to be sure it's. I make my kick on G because I'm used to making my kick on G. But most people, I don't know, not most people, but some other people do it on different notes, so just whatever you prefer. Since I've always done them on G, I just like doing them on G because that's what I'm used doing them, but I usually pitch them down quite a bit after that. Um, not to go too much, now to go into the effects range, so yeah, that's the first thing you're gonna do with your long tail 909. You're gonna start EQing and distorting, like always. So the first part, you want to get it like fucking crunched, like distorted as fuck. So you see in the drum zone, I put the volume to the max. Here I put the input gain even more, just because I wanted to like, it's asymmetry like 100%. But this is really not important. You will see later on that in your effects range, you will listen and you will like move this shit or whatever until it will sound good for you, and you will put like an equalizer before, just like it's always trial and error, trial and error. So that's the first thing I did. Like I EQ'd just a bit before and do that. So as you can see, like it's super asymmetrical right now. It's just like distorting it really hard. But one thing that's important to know that like when you make your kick, you're not making it that linear. You'll see I will activate all these plugins one by one, but that's not how I did it when I did my kick. Of course, at the beginning, those are the first thing I did, and then I add up, add up, add up. But you will see that once you're at like two strips, two strips and a half, you don't want to go like more plugins than that. Like if you're really fucking motivated, go for it. But like, um, usually I tend to like once I have two or three strips max, you have enough equalizers and distortion to make a great hardstyle kick. It's just a matter of like where everything is positioned. So you just play around with that. Like literally, this fucking project is like maybe 2 months old, and for 2 months I was just like switching plugins, like tweaking shit in my chain. I wasn't adding. you're not gonna get better sound by adding shit, adding shit, adding shit. It's just to get that fucking perfect effects like chain, you just need to like play around with it. It's not a matter of how many shit you have. So here again, just a bunch of distortion. This was just made, like probably change a bunch of shit at the end, you know? So just making you see what I was doing. I'm not gonna activate the auto filter just now because I kind of like use it while I was making it, but I don't really use it at the end because I don't know, because it fucks up after. Well, I just cut it myself later on. It's a lot easier, so I'll continue. Let you guys hear the kick. Another clip this. Now it's starting to get a lot more crunchier and shit. You just continue doing that. You just remove some shit. You add some shit. You play with the phase here. That's like a really important part of kick making, is like removing some of that low before distorting. So adding more again. And then after that, it's all fucked up and the frequencies aren't right, so I'm not really distorting that much because I already have a good crunch. I'm just like matter of removing shit. Yeah, it's really extreme. And a bit of reverb. And so here I have the crunch I want. That's how I want it to sound. But that's like only the first part. Like once you have the good kick chain, most of the sound of your kick actually, like, it won't sound at all like your chain. That's the fucking worst. So most people just show the chain, but like all the afterwards is all that really makes up your kick. Is I will just bounce this chain. I'll bounce the whole shit, and then I will. Where the fuck is it? Oh, here it is. And then I will actually play around with that and EQ even more sections. And like this is actually the important part that people don't really focus on, but is like probably the most important. Because like you can have like, I'm not saying you can have a shit chain but make something good afterwards, but really like that's almost what it is. I'm really not used to Logic, so I'm sorry if I seem to do shit with it. It's because I'm really bad with Logic. Yeah. So here I have, that's like the part where I put the tail from, this is really annoying. This is where I have my tail, you know, so this is my full tail. I will just put it here just to show that that was the original shit I had, you know. This is the product of my kick chain. Fuck, this is not a good thing. You see, so that's like the kick chain we just made. And then from that I just cut it and I took like the really like harsh part of the distortion here, and then I made a fade to make it fade with a really less distorted part at the end of my kick chain. And that's kind of like one of the most important part in making a kick, like that I was struggling with at first, is really, you know, the movement in your kick and all that shit. Like you don't want your kick just to sound like you want it to be like dong dong, you know. So of course for that you really like need to make it filter to that part that has less distortion afterwards. And here I even like, you know, I EQ'd all that shit and removing a bit of highs towards the end. You know, I put an automation where I was, is this a good one? Okay, no, yeah, here, where I just automate a equalizer that removes high, because that's the way I do it. Some people just remove it from here. And I also put an automation on, here you will see to the left, I have an equalizer that is just swiping, like this. just to give it like extra movement, you know. Then after that, you have the classic like 909 that you put under it. It's just another 909 that I put that, you know, is just the pressure classic. I separated my base layer from my crunch slash tail shit because I want more control on it, you know. Because if you don't do that and you like, I will mute this here. If I remove here, you will see that the waveform of the bass, I will just get the bass. You will see it will be like kind of not really that. You'll see there's like a bump right in the middle. I will remove the 99 so you guys can see even better. But you see there's a bump in it, and I don't know, I didn't want that, so that's why I just need that and put the other base layer that is not going through like some filtering. So now my bass is a lot smoother, which means I will be able to put the volume up quite a bit more than if there would have been a bump in it, you know. It's kind of like, it's just pure bass. So removing it. Okay. After that, you know, you have like that layer. I rendered my tail after I put all the like equalizing and movement in it and a bit of reverb. So like my reverb is not going to my bass, it's just the character which is reverb. Yeah, I just rendered that tail and I put it under it, and you probably won't hear the difference. Like, but it changes the tone a lot, and I don't know, I preferred it like that, and it makes the kick a bit fuller, so that's cool. And to be honest, like, you see, that's like the punch is about like the first fourth of your kick, and the tail is like the rest. But really, the punch is it's weird to say because it's not even like it's only 1/4 of your sound technically. The punch is one of the things that you will hear the most in your kick. Meaning you can have the best tail in the world, if your punch is shit, your kick will sound like shit. But you can have a really good punch and like an okay tail, and people won't even hear the difference because like what you hear the most is the punch. And here I kind of tried doing a punch, but um, it wasn't very good. Like, because I didn't take like other snares and shit. It was just this is all made from the original effects chain from the beginning. You might like this punch. I think it's really bad. So I went and take an older punch that I made on Windows before. Like, that's why I say like logic isn't that important in kick making because the punch is one of the most important part, and you don't need clip disc to make a punch. Like clip disc is only for the tail, you know. But at the same time, if you want that really good tail, I think it's necessary, in my opinion, you know. So yeah, what I did afterwards is I put in addition like most people do, you know, which is to pitch it. But as you can see here, like I equalized quite a bit on the punch part. This is like it's a shit punch, but I will still tell you like how I was doing it. You know? This is like your talk, your really loud part of your punch. Then after that, this is you need to pull down the volume quite a bit, like really fast right after it. So if you want it to have that kind of slashy feeling to your punch, because if you don't, it will just sound like a big fat bit crushed like punch, and that doesn't sound very good. If you want it to have like really cool slashy feeling, you have to put it down right after, like really fucking low. That's what I do. It's kind of my thing. I put it too low actually. Some people think it sounds like shit. I kind of like it. And after that, you need to have still on a bit of your tail that's also lower than your talk, but not as low as the right after your talk, which is really low, just to give it that pumpy feeling. After that, I actually thought it sounded a lot better with my old punch, so I will go and find where I put it. Oh, there it is. So this is after I pitched it in Audition, and I added my old punch, which was made by EQing, distorting, Um, some kicks, like punchy kicks. I know most people rip, to be honest, like most people rip. I don't. I just use like snare. I think it was like a cymatic snare. I just used the attack and like I distorted it. And then I added a bunch of shit, like just sometimes I add claps, whatever, and then you just put together and you distort and you EQ and you put a lot of mids and it will sound better. And this is what it sounds. This is pitched on F sharp, so you'll hear. So yeah, it sounds kind of, I don't know, I like it. And this kick is still not done. It's still a work in progress, but I think it's a good way to show people that like I think things that you need to remember is like really putting a lot of movement in your kick. If that's what you want, I don't know. That's what kind of what I like in kicks, and that the way you do your effects chain really isn't linear. You really have to play with it inside, and you need to listen to like professional kicks and like pay attention because it will come with time. But you know, there's like a specific kind of sound that you hear in it that will tell you that it's good and that's what you want. You know, in that tail, especially, I was playing until I like something, but you know, like at the beginning, it's really fucking distorted. But there's a point where it just sounds really good to my ears, like right about there, you know. And that's the part when I heard that I was like, oh, that's cool. And then you focus more. You try to bring out that sound that you like. You try to bring out more and more and more. And once you have the thing you like, it's all about that part afterwards where you play with it with the sample. This will get you the hardstyle sound. It's not the effects chain. The effects chain is gonna get you your crunch, your tone, which is really important. But it's to get it sound like a good hardstyle kick is all about this part. To be honest, you can't listen to just your chain alone. And really, like layer your own kick with your like take your tail, cut the bass off of it, relayer it with it, and then focus on the punch. The punch really is the most important part, in my opinion, in the kick drum. I spent like months just working on this tail, and this past punch, I know I worked like really hard on it, and it's not perfect yet, but you know, I don't really take shit from other people, so it's kind of hard and painful to make hardstyle kicks, but that's what hardstyle is all about. So I hope you guys learned something. This was a bit shorter than I intended. I didn't really show the whole like inside kick chain because really that's why you can't really make a hardstyle kick tutorial, is because it would be like looking at me for 2 months just like fucking switching things like really not much, and then just trying. And then when you have something that sounds cool, you save your project, and then you put in a new, you know, I put /2. I make a copy of my project, so I work on something new, and if I fuck it up, I don't overwrite my old project, and I have like bunch of copies of the same kick chain, you know, like maybe 40, 50, 60, 70, who knows, like I just copy them until I get something cool. And with only one kick, like one chain, you can make like a bunch of kicks. You can make different kicks with it. If you go to an older project and you have another sound that you liked a lot, well, you can like use that chain instead, and you can use your tail for another kick, like different punch. Just changing the punch is, people are gonna think you changed kick just because the punch is so important. Then you can keep the same punch and change the tail like I just did right now, and sounds also a lot different. So I think this is gonna be all for today. I might do a tutorial on leads or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. If you guys liked it, just tell me, and if you have like specific questions or whatever, you can always ask. Try to help you. It's really, you have to put a lot of time in it. There's no secret. Working hard, and yeah. Use Logic. If you don't use Logic, it's okay, but you know, Logic just makes your life easier. So thank you, Logic. So that's all for today. I'll see you later. Ciao.